So if we're comparing primary sources to secondary sources, say there's something that happens at a...
Ow! If you're a teacher, then you have a disruptive student. Or maybe 2 or 3, but there's always going to be at least one in your class. Hey, Jennifer.
There, and they tell about...
Let me see your pen.
They are a primary source. But if they
Why?
tell their friend, and then
I'm going
their
to see if I
friend
can
comes
spin
and tells
2
you what
pens
happens,
in both
they're
my
a
hands.
secondary source because they weren't there.
You can't even spin it
Now, who
with
do you
one
think
hand.
is going to be...
Do not ignore this problem and hope that it goes away and hope that the student's going to quit being disruptive and distracting. Because if you let them get away with it, then all the other students will see. They'll see that one student can get away with it, so they will think that they can get away with it too, and pretty soon your whole class will be being disruptive. And it's much easier to correct the behavior of one student than an entire class.
More reliable, a primary source or a secondary source?
I need to borrow a pen from someone. I just lost mine.
If you look with me, what is going on over there?
So how do you address a disruptive student? Let me break it down for you into 5 steps. Step 1, call the whole class to attention. Why is this a step? Well, because you want to give all the students at least one chance to correct the behavior themselves before you call them out in front of the class. There are some students that are shy, and if you call them out in front of the whole class, it's actually going to be kind of traumatic for them. Some students won't care, but there are some shy ones. So you just give them one chance to correct their behavior before you call them out by name.
I need you guys to settle down and take notes on the PowerPoint.
I don't need to take notes. I remember everything without writing it down. Step 2, give them an individual warning. This doesn't have to take a long time. You just say their name, and then you say this is your warning, and then you move on with your lesson. Then they know that if they keep being disruptive, you're going to take more steps. Duke, this is your warning. Step 3, seat change. If you change their seat, you're changing something about their situation to try to get them to behave better. There's other things you can change besides just changing their seat, but I found that this is the quickest and most effective way to show the student that you are willing to do something about the fact that they are not behaving correctly. If you think they'll behave better in the front of the classroom, or you think they'll behave better by different people, then you change their seat.
So if we're comparing primary sources to secondary sources...
Idiot! Look, man, I said I was sorry. No, you said oops.
Duke, I told you what needed to change, and I gave you a chance to change your behavior. But since you haven't changed your behavior, I'm going to have to do something to try to change your behavior, which means it's time to change your seat.
Step 4, pull the student out of class to talk. Sometimes students act out to get the attention and approval of their peers. So if you pull them out of class to talk to them, then they won't have the same desire to perform. And you'll be able to have a more genuine conversation. Pulling the student out of class to talk to them will also help solve future problems because all the other students will see that that will happen to them if they goof off. This is so boring. Whenever we ever gonna use this?
So let's talk about the news. Is the news a primary
When I need to know the news, I just go to TikTok, Facebook.
Would it be
Come on, man.
different?
Why do you think those things were invented?
Duke, I need you to go wait for me in the hall.
Wait, what?
We're gonna have a talk.
Are you serious?
I'm just gonna start everyone else on the worksheet for today, and then I will see you out there. And if you ditch, I will be calling your parents. So wait for me.
This is so stupid.
Go.
It's very important to be positive with this step and this conversation that you have one-on-one. The best way I found to approach it is first, say something you like about that student, something positive about that student, one of their strengths. Second, say what needs to change. Third, emphasize you need this to change because you care about the student and the rest of the students in the class. So an example of this would be to say, Duke, I love your energy and I love how much fun you are to have in my class. I need you to pay better attention, follow instructions, and stop being disruptive because this is important stuff for you to learn, and I want you to learn it because I care about you, and I want the other students to learn it because I care about them. And if you're being disruptive, then nobody's going to learn the material like they'll need. Step 5, explain the next steps if their behavior doesn't stop. Emphasize to the student that you've given them a chance to correct their behavior. Then you've tried to do something to correct their behavior. And if they've done something and you've done something, who do you need to call next? You need to call their parents next. You need to call their guardians, whether that's their parents or their grandparents or whoever they live with, and talk to them about their behavior so you can come up with solutions. Most students don't want you to call home. And so if you explain that this is the next step you're going to have to take and give them one more chance, most of the students will take you up on that offer and behave better, so you will not call home. For most students, these steps will make it so they quit pushing on the boundaries. However, if they don't, please see my next video on how to handle a moderately disruptive student.